Hello, my friends. Okay, it is Wednesday, and I don't know if I mentioned in the other videos, but I'm Barbara. Um, my goal in having this channel is just providing hopefully helpful advice and guidance on anything in the business entrepreneur world. My stuff. Hello, that's Alexa. I don't know if you know her, Alexa. She's in my office. She plays music sometimes and talks to you when you're lonely. Anyways, um, the uh, I just am hoping that these videos provide you support in your business, guidance in your career, tips and tricks that I've learned over the time that I've been in the business world. I worked in corporate America for 13 years for Royal Caribbean International. I ran their global special events team. I ran an inside sales team. I ran a trade marketing and strategy team, training team, onboard cruise sales team, hotel directors, cruise directors, a whole slew of people. And I learned a few things along the way. So I want to share them and let you know how me as an entrepreneur have implemented them into my business. So our current business, one of them is I'm an Amazon delivery partner. And so all of the great Amazon trucks that you see out on the street are subcontracted to entrepreneurs. 1 in 10,000 people get approved for the program that apply. I applied for it completely on a whim, got through, and it's been a crazy but amazing journey. Hence, my safety vest and the sweat all over me because I just did load out. Do you see me? I'm sweating. It's Miami. It's like 90 degrees, but 300 degrees humidity. So I put on some lipstick, wiped the sweat off my brow, and here we are. But okay, I want to talk to you about hiring today. Let's cut to the chase, really. So I think that there's 2 channels that you go down with hiring. In my Amazon world, when I hired for cruise lines, I used to hire cruise staff, used staff, DJs, light technicians, sound technicians. I believe very strongly is that you have to come up with a very clear process with steps to be able to hire for those mass market positions. So these will be positions that you're always going to have an opening and you're always going to be churning people through. I experienced that with my drivers. Right now I have 101 drivers, thanks to my amazing recruitment team. 101 drivers on our roster. When I was hiring in the cruise industry, I had a list that was constantly being added because somebody quit, somebody got fired, somebody didn't work out, whatever it may be. So it was this constant churn, just like Amazon. And something that would be similar would be like McDonald's or a warehouse jobs. So essentially what we do is a couple different things. Is we do advertising that we use Indeed. Right now we don't pay for advertising through Indeed. We have the option to, but we really haven't needed to. We make sure that our job posting is airtight. And in Indeed, you can do a pre-qualification questionnaire. So for an example, to be one of our drivers, you have to be 21. It's just one of the rules. You have to have a driver's license. You have to be able to lift at least 50 pounds. So those are pre-qualifying questions that when somebody's applying for the job, they have to click on certain answers to be able to move forward to the application process. We also, through our website, hermesdeliveries.com, anybody can apply there, but they're going to be forwarded to a Google form where they also have to do the qualification. If they say, no, I'm not 21, and they try and submit the form, and it says, sorry, you don't meet the minimum hiring qualifications. This is a really, really, really important filtering system because if not, you as a hiring person, a small business owner, you are talking to people that don't meet the minimum hiring requirements for the job. And so, frankly, it's a waste of your time when you have technologies that are out there that can do that filtration for you. So this is step 1 for me, is doing the filtration, letting people know what the minimum requirements are, validating that they meet those requirements. And then the next step would be asking them to do something. I find this to be really, really important because there's a lot of people that just sit behind their desks and click apply, 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 apply to every single job on the whole dang internet. So if I get somebody that meets the minimum requirement qualifications, let's say they didn't spell anything wrong on their resume or whatever it may be, then we will say, hey, thank you for the interest in the job. Please follow this link and upload a video of yourself. So when they follow the link, we use a platform. I'll put the link below that essentially what I ask our drivers to do is that they will upload a video of themselves. It's an intro video of me. And I say, hey, I'm Barbara. I'm the owner. This is what our company's like. We're so excited that you're interested. I set the tone for what working for us is like. And then I ask them to upload a video. So they essentially have the chance to show me their responsiveness, but how they present themselves. And this says a lot. I have gotten videos from people that are laying in their bed without a shirt on, like literally on their pillow, recording themselves. Hey, I'm Bobby. I'm on a job. Yeah, I like driving. Yeah. So I like driving and I haven't crashed anything. Yeah, people literally send those videos. Another girl was amazing that she sent a video with, she's in her car. She's driving. You can see like stuff going. She's applying for a driver job. I need to like post these with blurring out faces. But she's like this, and she's like, oh my gosh. And I love driving, and and I'm a people person. Don't ever say that in an interview, ever. I'll do another one on interviews. So I'm just like a people person. And then her like blinker goes on and she's like, oh. And I'm like, you're applying for a job and you couldn't stop your car and get out and stand in front of a tree and put some lipstick on and present yourself. She couldn't do that for me. No, not happening. So I'm pretty sure I don't want her delivering packages for me. So it's just a really easy qualification. I have candidates that show up with a suit and tie that just really go the extra mile. They script themselves and they rehearse it. And I'm like, yeah, I want somebody like that to work for me. So the next part is the video clip. And then we will schedule an interview. We usually do a video interview. If we're not sure, based on the video interview, if we're going to pass that person, then we'll ask them to do an in-person interview. And it's characteristics that we kind of look for is like, did they show up on time to their video interview? Did they respond to emails? Did they leave us any doubts about them? If we have any doubts, then we'll say, hey, please come in person. And in-person interviews are then done by my management team or my supervisory team versus my recruitment team. So it's a really good post a job, include a minimum hiring qualification. Filter through those, ask people to do something, whether it's a video, whether it's writing something about themselves. This technology is out there and it's super, super easy. So please use it, people. Look at the videos and then hire that person or ask them to do the next step. I mean, it's like a 5-step process. It's very, very easy. Then the flip side of it, if you're not hiring for a mass churning type of position, if it's a specialized, like a sales manager or a graphic designer or something like that, or a marketing person, I recommend that first thing you do is you post a job. And I would really encourage you to let the job sit out there. Pay an ad if you need to, but post it on LinkedIn. You can also use Indeed. And I think LinkedIn is we've gotten our most recent sales manager from LinkedIn because I think it's good because it allows people within networks to connect. And so you're kind of looking at like-minded individuals. So candidates that really interest me is they do their application and then you're able to see that they meet the minimum hiring requirements. I just kind of go through and LinkedIn will push them out to you as people apply. And then I look for that person to kind of go a step above and beyond. Did they send me an email? Did they go to our website? Did they try and follow up on anything? Because that's what I'm going to want from an individual that works for you. I want you to want this job, not just to be clicking a button from your home and crossing your fingers. So as you see a strong candidate come through, I have kind of a qualification person. It doesn't have to be somebody that is an expert in recruitment or hiring. They just have to be somebody that can read people really well and can ask good questions. So it's that person on your team that really sits down and gets to know somebody. So they go, tell me about yourself. Tell me about what you like to do. And you have to ensure that they are poking holes in things that could make the person not work out for you guys. So logistical things like, how our hours work for you. You know, we're here from 9 to 6. We ask for everybody to be here and in person, talk about the COVID stuff, talk about the culture of your company and watch the person's reaction. And if they do well in that interview, then they come to the ownership level. So you have really two options, is that you have your first qualification interview. And then if you have a team that this person is going to be working with, I highly recommend that you do a group interview. Now, don't be those people that make people interview 17 times to get a job. Just be reasonable and put everybody together in a group, 5 people, make sure everybody asks 2 questions, and everybody knows they prepare themselves before they go and interview this person. Then they interview them and they give you your feedback. So you kind of have 2 checkpoints from an individual perspective, from a team perspective. And then you as the owner or the actual hiring person gets the cream of the crop. If those people didn't show up on time for their interviews, if they didn't present well in their interviews, then they come for a final in-person interview with you. So when they do the in-person interview, it's really kind of your final icing on the cake, to ask the deep questions, reiterate maybe what they've been asked before. And you should be pretty much at a place where you're down to 2, maximum 3 candidates at that point. Let's say that you start with 5 strong candidates, you should be down to 2 by the end. And then what I was taught, well, I was tortured first. When I was on a cruise ship and I applied for a job within the Royal Caribbean offices, I had an amazing hiring manager, but he wanted a video. And this was like in 2000 something, 3, 4. And like, cameras on phones did not exist then. So I literally had to get like a person with a video camera with a VHS. And I happened to be in the Baltic at the time, on a ship in the Baltic. So I had to get, he taught me this, and it's been priceless for me in my career, that he gave me a project. I had to work on the project, and then I had to video myself. And then I had to go find somebody to carry that videotape home, because I was in the Baltic. So carry it to the United States and then mail it from the United States to get there in time. That's freaking work. And I'm like, if I'm going to get this job, hell or high water, after all of this. So I don't quite do that. But for me, if it's a pretty skilled and important position and there's a lot of demand for it, after you get to the last 2 candidates, I asked those 2 candidates to do a project. And I'm a little bit particular about it, but there's purpose behind this, because you want to see how resourceful this individual is. You want to be shocked and amazed, because some people can interview really, really well. And then when it comes to actually doing the work, or being resourceful, or thinking on their toes, or being able to pivot and ask questions, then that's where they struggle. So you want to see those things in action. So what I would always do is I would have a small project that they had to do that was related to the position that they were going in. And I was intentional that I would send the project to them at like 2 o'clock on a Friday, and it would be due by noon on Monday. Yep, I'm that lady that ruins people's weekends. That's me. But how bad do you want the job? Come on. So I would give them just a simple paragraph and just say, you know, hey, we're working on our strategy for 2022. We have some ideas around trade shows and what trade shows will look like in the COVID world. Please present to us what your plan would be for 2022 in the Miami area. Something like that. Come up with some hypothetical situation that's relevant to your business. And ask them to work on it and flesh through it and see how that person thinks. I've given people event planning scenarios. I've given people marketing strategy scenarios. I've given them client issues, production issues, and I've been blown away. I found one of my strongest event planners doing this process, and this person was the underdog because they came from, we didn't really know them. They came from somewhere else. When they did their presentation and stood in front of us, we were blown away compared to the other one that thought that they were a shoo-in. So I would just really encourage you, because you can mine some really great talent and see the drive and the dedication that somebody has by giving them a project. And then at that point, when they're presenting, right now you'd probably have to do it by Zoom. You can do it in person if you want to, but make sure that your team is also there, and you make it very, very clear to your team that you want their feedback, but ultimately I'm the boss and I'm the one that's deciding who's going to get this role. Because that person, someone on your team might know that person, they might influence the other people. They might think, oh, this person's going to make me look bad, and so I don't want them on our team. I hope that's not your culture. Or we're going to say, oh, this person is too strong, is not strong enough, whatever it may be. You listen to their concerns, but you make it very clear going into the process that you want their feedback and your input, but ultimately you're looking at the big picture of your organization. You're involving them in the process to get another set of eyes because you value their opinion, but you're making the decision. So I think that's really, really important ground to lay when you're doing this with your team. So I think I've walked through kind of your mass market positions, hiring, set up a process that's really easy, really turnkey. And then for your specialized positions, set up a process that has a lot of checkpoints with different people. Ultimately, you are the deciding decision, but you really want to see how somebody reacts under pressure and how they perform. I think it's critically important if you're paying somebody on a salary, if there's any bonuses involved, you want to see if they show up and how bad they want this job. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me and ask away. But get out there, hire some amazing candidates, build a really incredible culture to retain them. And we'll talk about interviewing next. Okay, take care. Bye.